welcome back. This time, I'm making this video to do a chapter 8 for science test review. So, I want to review with you the main ideas, the main points of this awesome chapter. So, I want you to listen carefully, take notes. Get a paper, take notes, take some important notes. If you have a question that you didn't understand on the test or something, play the video. This video will help you with any question you may have, and it'll help you study. If you haven't done the test yet, it's okay. You have this video now. If you already did your test, so you can go back and check and make sure if you need extra help, extra study, you could play this video. So if you're done, awesome. You're ahead of the game. So all you have to do is go back and double check some work, see if you got an amazing grade. So let's be talking about clouds. Let's talk about what the chapter began with. So clouds, when they form, clouds form when the water vapor condenses. That's how they start to form. It condenses the water vapor and the clouds began to form. Also, let's talk about the atmosphere. So, the atmosphere has so many things. For example, it's like a blanket. It's a blanket of gases that surrounds some planets. Many planets have atmospheres. The planets have an atmosphere. It's that layer. It's like a blanket of a bunch of gases, and it's just around the planet. It's kind of like a protection. It's there to give us that extra protection. So it's really good for you to know and learn about that atmosphere. Now, also, when we look at the atmosphere, the layers of the atmosphere contain uh, a lot of things. Now, one of the layers contain the greatest amount of air, and the layer, when it contains that amount, it's the stratosphere and the troposphere layers has so much air in that atmosphere because as we see that whole layers, we start with the first layer. That's a troposphere layer. Now, from there, we want and learn, as we learned in this chapter, the one that had the most is a troposphere, which is the second layer. And then from there, the mesosphere. That one doesn't have that much air. But then, when you get to the thermosphere, man, that one is always with air. And all these layers of our atmosphere are there to protect us, to protect us from like the rays of the sun, all the stuff that's going to us, the UV rays and stuff. All that is important for us to always remember. So now we continue learning in our chapter about polar continental air mass. Now, when we want to use and describe some words about the polar continental air mass, we think about how, it's cold and dry. It is always like that. That mass of air is not humid at all. It's always dry and it's cold. It's not wet, it's not hot, it's just cold and dry. Now, the air masses are separated as well, and they're separated. There are two different air masses, and they are separated by a front. For example, this front is just this air, it's this air that is separating the air masses. And it's really powerful, to think about it. How air is, God uses everything, and air is all around us, and it's being used front, is used to separate them. So also, um, the wind and the water cycle, they get energy. The wind keeps going, the water keeps going, but their energy It does not come from weather. It does not come from a jet stream, but it comes from the sun. Yes, the sun gives energy. The sun is giving us energy every day to you, to me. That's why going outside in the sun and just bathing out there, taking like a sun bath, and it really gives you energy. So the water also needs the sun. The wind also needs the sun so they can get energy so that we can continue to have the water cycle and continue to have the wind and have that, in our climate and part of our weather. Also, when you think about the the climate zone, and you think of the warm temperatures throughout the year, that happens in the tropical climate zone. The polar, ooh, no, but we're thinking about warm temperatures. The warm temperatures is going to be in the tropical climate zone because those are the zones where you have warmth, where you have the temperatures throughout the whole year. It's just beautiful tropical weather. That's a great way, to learn about those weathers. So, um, there are different things that make up the earth. There are many things, and some three things are makeup that make up the earth atmosphere. We have oxygen. Oxygen makes up the earth atmosphere. We have water vapor. Water vapor is also making up our atmosphere, and nitrogen is something else that makes up our atmosphere. So I want you to think about, those things that make up the atmosphere, and I want you to consider also, how does gravity affect the Earth's atmosphere? When gravity, it holds the atmosphere down. Gravity pulls down near Earth. So that's how it affects the atmosphere. It pulls it down. Now, we also talked about climate. Now, climate, the definition of climate is a weather that happens in an area over many years. Again, it's a weather that happens in an area over many years. So it's in different areas. The climate is different in all the areas. Here in South Texas is different. Upstate of Texas is different. If you keep going higher in the United States, it's very different. Every area has a different climate. So if we want to talk about what affects the climate, there are two things. We could talk about two things that affect the climate. Distance from oceans, how far you are from the water, that affects the climate. Distance from equator as well. Air masses and elevation. How high are you? That's going to affect the weather for sure, especially in winter. And also, when you live closer to water, it's going to rain more. For example, Florida, every single day it rains at 4 o'clock. It's so weird, but every day it's raining. There's so much sun. So sometimes it doesn't rain, but mostly there's a high chance of rain. They have so much water, around the entire state. And so the closer you live to water, it's going to affect the area as well. So it's really amazing, this chapter, as we learned. So also, part of the test is to draw and label what happens during the water cycle. So water evaporates from oceans. So a great thing you could do is, draw the ocean, draw water evaporating, lakes as well. It evaporates from water from the oceans and the lakes. Water vapor in the air forms clouds. So you draw the clouds, the vapor. The clouds bring the rain. So you draw the rain as well. And snow, which fall to the earth. So here, draw your best water cycle that you can. You can in Shobi app, you can use some of those pens that you have. This chapter mainly taught us about how awesome it is to have this beautiful climate and this beautiful weather and our beautiful earth. This was our chapter 8 study guide, and chapter 9 is will be coming up after 3 lessons. So we will not have another science test for like another 2 weeks or so. So do your best on the test. If you still have some more questions, contact me. Let me know. I'm so excited to be your teacher to help you in this time and to help you in anything you need. Let me know. I'm here for you. Have a great day. Bye.